Uh-oh.
Can't hear me. Now they can. Welcome into B&T Sports Talk Show. Joining us this great Sunday evening, Cinco de Mayo. Having a great time watching basketball. Hopefully everyone is doing the same. Oh man, it's been a wonderful weekend, man. B, how you doing?
I'm good, man. This has been amazing. Got to watch game 7. Who doesn't love a game 7? Even though we, took a crap on both those teams for having to play a game 7. But
Yeah.
I was up watching it. I don't know about you. Caught a little F1 race today here. That was exciting here. Before we talk about the NBA, is there any particular reason why F1 proceeded to have to put 3 different yachts on some fake ass water? These were legitimate yachts in the middle of a race. Like, that's some F1 rich stuff kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, what does it got to do with it?
It literally is for the purpose of making rich people spend money. That's all. It's just a way to advertise to rich people some nonsense that they can do to get rid of excess money they apparently no longer want to keep.
But you got a broke person watching it going, well, I'm not standing on that yacht watching a race here.
Exactly.
And here's the worst part. The cars are coming around the turn, so you only see them for like 5 seconds and then poof, they're gone. So I got a chance to watch it. I'm not a big race person, but the F1, I mean, anytime you get a chance to watch the F1, I would recommend to watch it, man. It's actually pretty exciting. These little box cars going like 198 miles an hour, and we're seeing like McLaren, Audi, Ferrari,
all the big names.
Cars. Yeah, it's a lucrative sport here that doesn't really get talked about unless you're international.
And how funny is it that there are no Americans in it?
Well, yeah, because they're all at NASCAR right now. They're not getting that stuff.
They're like, no, you're gonna have to turn. Race. I'm afraid you're gonna have to make a right. What?
Yeah,
what?
The minute they said you have to make a left and a right sharp turn, they were like, nope. We'll stick to oval tracks.
That's
Thank
right.
you very much.
This is America. We don't do all that confusion.
Not at all.
Well, let's jump into it, man. Well, the first thing is, we got to talk about my team, I guess. I mean,
welcome to Cancun, my brother. Yeah, welcome to Cancun with the Golden State Warriors.
I wish I was in Cancun. Actually, I'm not. It's just the team that's in Cancun, and they got dumped out in the same way last time. They keep playing this team. Getting in close games, taking leads, and then coughing it up at the very end. They did the exact same thing multiple different times against the Nuggets. I am almost certain that it's not just the fact that the Lakers are not a great team because they're not the best, but I think the Nuggets had a hold over them in an emotional, or not emotional, but they had the leverage. They were in their heads mentally. They had the mental advantage because every time they got to the end of the game, the Lakers choked up. Like, I don't even know how. It was bad. It was bad. And
I don't know about you, man, but that just the Lakers did not have any late game execution.
No, they don't.
To close any of those games out, it was bad, man. Like,
they don't have any second half
there was none.
Execution. I mean, the moment they put Aaron Gordon on Anthony Davis, they were like, "Oh God, what do we do now?" It's like, no, just go back to Anthony Davis. What the hell are you guys doing? And then on top of that,
he got a small defender on him. Go back to him,
I don't know.
Aaron Gordon is not going to defend him.
And then LeBron, for the first time, shows his age, and he looked it in those fourth quarters. I mean, he was doing everything he could to win those games. I'm not going to take anything away from him. But it's not his job anymore. He can't do that anymore. He can't carry a team like that, not even for that a half. Let alone a whole game. Or a series. So he could not get the job done on his own, and nobody else was contributing anything. D'Angelo Russell had another type series against the Nuggets. Austin Reeves was very up and down, and just like they were all season, there was just no consistency across the board. And that's why they end up losing to a team that executes to a T, whenever they're ready to play. That is because the Nuggets have this thing where they kind of up and down a little bit too. But when they lock in, man, they are tough to beat because they can knock down shots and knock them down in a hurry. But to let Jamal Murray get 2 game winners off on you in the same series, on a pick and roll play, mind you, I think it was a similar play, except the the drive was going in
I
two
think
different
that
directions.
I think the second one was a little bit of a tougher shot that he took
The
against
first
compared to
one,
the first shot.
the first one against AD was tougher. This one, he was going into. I thought he was just going into the lane and took like a free throw. Like watching it in real time, it didn't look like he was taking a difficult shot. It looked like he was just going through a traditional routine pick and roll, gone to the open spot and just pulled out. Austin Reeves couldn't get in the picture quick enough, and that just shows you why the Lakers shouldn't be where they are. They got beat by the
Yeah.
same player twice in the same situation. So if anything, you would have been thinking get the ball out of his hands, but instead the Lakers were like, nah, it's okay, bro. We'll let you shoot.
And you know what the crazy part is the physicality never picked up for the Lakers as well. Jamal Murray was hurt. You know,
Yeah,
he really didn't show it, but you could see it was his calf muscle was bothering him.
yeah,
And so that level of that sense of urgency, that sense of physicality to try to make it tough on Jamal Murray, the guy took way too many open shots in a closeout game
yeah.
for someone who was hurt. So yeah, he's gonna have a easier time to shoot the ball because he's no one's pressing on him.
Nobody's
But
guarding him.
I would well that the thing is I would have sent a message to him. I would have made him very uncomfortable. Force him on that. I think was his left calf
Yeah,
that was
I
bothering
think.
him.
Yeah,
Force him left.
yeah,
Force him left every single time, or
yeah,
force him right to push off that calf muscle because he did not want to do that here. He was very stationary. KCP went out for a little bit here. The Lakers had every opportunity. We talked about it Friday, man. This is such a weird exit. The fact that they led for 141 minutes in this series and produced one win, dude, that's so alarming, man. I'm like, how do you do this? That's a first I've ever seen. It's a first.
I'm telling you, it's a mental thing, man. I really honestly believe they mentally don't think that they can beat that team, and that's what we're seeing. And that's what they look like. They just, like I said, it was choking. Every time it was time to get into the third
Yeah.
and fourth quarter, they let them go on a run to get back in the game. Rather it had been at the end of the half or in the third. Once we got to the fourth quarter, the game's pretty much over because the Lakers did not. They
Yeah.
weren't outside of one game. They were not able to execute in the fourth quarter at all, and it's because they lack a consistent offense or defense that they feel comfortable with running. You had LeBron taking threes and guys trying to do more than what they need to do because nobody knows what their job really is. And that goes back to the next topic. Darvin Ham Sandwich finally has been fired. We done got rid of this fool. He's out. Thank you. I'm glad Darvin's gone. And I know it's not all his fault, but look, I'm gonna be honest with you. All of these stories, and I don't know if you've seen it, but did you see all the stories come out after the fact?
Yeah.
After the season, where basically players on the opposing team were saying they were getting hints of the players not wanting to that weren't jiving with Darvin Ham and what he was saying or doing. Remember, we had the old video, not old, but earlier in the season where he was pulled out the play chart just to write on there. What did he say? Play hard or some garbage like that.
Yeah, it was like
That was,
yeah.
So he's not an X's and O's guy, and it was hurting us.
He's also not a motivational speaker either.
Apparently
Because
not.
that note on the clear board didn't get through here.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. And the fact that he ran we had so many different, rotations and the benching Austin Reeves and benching D'Lo and starting Cam Reddish and I just they never got any consistency, and a lot of that was because I don't think our coach knew what he wanted to do from jump, and so I think he thought he could just ride the waves of the emotion and energy and win games, and it doesn't work like that. Like, you have to be able to execute. In order to do that, you got to have disciplined players and a plan in place, and they didn't have either one of those, and that's why they lost. They had great talent, but when it came time to execute and rely on teammates to do things, even LeBron was doing weird stuff sometimes. Like, it was a couple of games in the fourth quarter. I think it was maybe not the last game, but maybe the one before, where Bron's going into like 3, 4, 5 people in the paint because he doesn't even believe in his teammates. He's not making the right pass, and usually we're used to Bron making the right play, but I don't know. There's something about the feel of this team that was off the entire season.
I think I just don't think Darvin Ham was even the right selection from the get go
Yeah.
to be coaching in Los Angeles here, and the fact that he came out of nowhere, after Frank Vogel had done a great job
Yeah, I
with the
know.
Los
We ran
Angeles
Vogel
Lakers.
out of town too, so
Yeah, but that's what drives me nuts is, now granted it was only in half a season championship, but you could tell the difference from the way the team responded to Frank Vogel, the way they responded to Darvin Ham. It's night and day with those two coaches there. I just think Darvin Ham wasn't ready for such of a situation like this, and the fact that the Lakers even trusted him with a very short window here, it wasn't going to work out. I'm surprised they didn't fire him after last
they
season
should
here.
have,
Now,
man.
granted,
They should have.
the team made it to the Western Conference Finals, but I mean, for what? They were out as quickly as that in that series, and they were in this series. The only difference is a 1 game win. So I just think Darvin Ham is not a solid NBA coach.
Dude, I
There's
saw
just
it.
no execution on the offensive or defensive end.
Yeah. Dude, I saw the story about Mike Malone getting up there trying to talk about how it's not Darvin Ham's fault and he deserves to be a coach in the NBA. I said, yeah, of course you would
No.
say that. You beat his ass like 10 times.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, bring him back. Bring him back.
That
Put
had to
him-
be that had to be one of the worst lies on national television. Like, yeah, man, bring him back so I
Yeah.
can beat his ass again. You know what I'm saying? Just come out and say that, man. Don't sit there and just try to beat around the bush.
Like, oh,
Of
I
course you
hope they
are.
don't fire him. Man, are you kidding me right now? Like you would
What
be
you worried about?
ecstatic. You'd be ecstatic. All the mess he was talking last year, we're the Lakers' daddy and all. You really think if they get a really good coach, they're gonna be happy about that? No, of course not.
Yeah.
Roll Darvin Ham ass back out there and let's whoop these fools for the 12th time is what he's looking for. And then what was I gonna say? Darvin Ham, the fact that he tried to throw a starting player under the bus on the way out, though, what was that
Oh
about?
my god,
Did you see
that was ridiculous. Yeah, man. Why do you
What?
you got no room to speak, bro? Your team
Yeah.
sucks. You suck as a coach, and then that's the most cop out way to do is just throw
Yeah,
somebody
dude,
under the
like,
bus
oh,
and say,
well,
"Hey, man,
well.
you know what? No, it was him."
Yeah,
Like,
you would have benched him too if this player wasn't playing well. And shut up, dude. Like that's the problem, right? It was that he had that quote. He had the other quote in response to Anthony Davis, where AD basically said, "We don't know what we're doing on the floor," and he's like, "Well, I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe he was just frustrated and yada 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 do." And then there was the comment earlier in the season. I don't know why everybody are so mad that it's not game to game. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's like, dude, I don't think you understand the intensity and severity of what's happening right now. Like, you're the Lakers head coach. I don't know if you've looked behind you, but there's a lot of history behind you, my friend. You're gonna have to step it up and maybe take accountability. You know what I mean? Like, just be like, hey, maybe you're right, AD. Maybe we're gonna have a video session. We're gonna figure some of this stuff. Say something like that. Don't say, I don't know what he's talking about, because that's Anthony Davis. They're gonna get rid of you before they get rid of him. Like, you can't just
100%.
call him out and go like, oh, I don't know what the best player on my team is talking about. What?
Yeah, what's with the Laker comments here? So you mentioned Darvin Ham, but let me ask you this: as a Laker fan, everything that you've seen, having Kobe Bryant, they made a big deal about this, about LeBron just coming out saying at the end of the day it's just basketball. As a Laker fan, what's your response? What's your response to that, man? With as rich as this organization is, your best player, your so-called killer mentality player, just comes out and says, "Man, it's just basketball at the end of the day." How does that resonate with Laker fans, especially in the organization too?
Yeah. I hope my mic is working. LeBron, shut up. That's all I gotta say. Just don't talk. Don't talk. Don't say anything. You just got bounced out of the playoffs by the same team as last year. You got swept last year. You got beat 4-1. You're a loser, bro. And I'm not saying you're a loser as in your whole career or anything about his legacy, but in this circumstance, you lost. Like, you lost. So just take that. We can't spin it and say, oh, it's just bad. No, it wasn't just basketball when your ass was out there sweating gallons of sweat, trying to dunk on 5 people at 45 years old, trying to carry everybody on your back. No, it wasn't just basketball when you was playing. Because if it was, you wouldn't have played that hard. You would have took the night off. But you didn't. So no, it's not just basketball. And yeah, as a Lakers fan, yeah, Laker fans are loyal to Kobe. So that type of demeanor, that mama mentality, when we start smelling some of this stuff that coming off LeBron, that oh, it's just bad. As a fan, it's like, nah, that's not mama mentality, bro. You're gonna have to take that elsewhere, not here. You go take that to Orlando, or go take it to Clipperland, or go take it to wherever. Don't bring it here, because we're not losers here. We don't do the losing. It's okay to be a loser thing. Like I respected the fact that AD came out and said, I'm pissed. I don't like what we're doing. I don't understand. I like that, because he's being genuine about it. He's being honest. And I know Brian got to give these little, these politically correct answers to everything, but he didn't have to say all that. He didn't have to say it's just basketball. No, it ain't just basketball. It's just Nikola Jokic. It's just Jamal Murray. That's what it is. It ain't just basketball. Because if it was just basketball, you go play in the backyard with your son and not make a sit. It ain't just basketball. This is different. Obviously, come on now, let's stop playing. And so I didn't really care for them comments. I hope he take a vacation with his family and get his mind right, and then come back and be ready to play next year, because he can pretend like he's gonna retire or go somewhere else, but in all likelihood he ain't going nowhere.
Warriors. Anyways, I
can get out of here. Here we go, man. We're trying to give.
Well, look, I can see how an NBA heavy season, especially going through what he went through with the Lakers as well. At some point, you maybe, or I should say with the coach, not with the Lakers as an organization. But if you're going through a bit of a turmoil with your coach, at the end of the day, then it does feel like basketball, like it's just basketball, like that drive, that motivation really isn't there anymore to want to compete at the highest level here, because you got a head coach who can't match that mentality.
Right.
Right. Phil Jackson didn't speak a whole lot. He didn't show a whole lot of emotion, but it's the way he presented the coaching factor to him brought out a lot of the best in guys like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant here, to have that killer mentality here. So I just think if you're not going to do that, why is your best player going to want to have that mentality? I mean, look at how he reacted. I'm not saying he was a crybaby when they didn't challenge it, but look, man, your season's on the line. So, I'm not saying the player should dictate when a coach should challenge, but we're not talking about any player. You're talking about LeBron James, and generally most of the time it's going to go his way. Yeah. So why not challenge it?
We're also talking about a coach that rarely uses timeouts. I mean, he generally, Darvin Ham would let us go down by about 12 or 13 before he decided to call a timeout. Now, he tried to change that a little bit, which I'll give him credit for, which kind of left us in the last game with no timeouts at all for like the last 5 minutes of the game. but he tried, I guess. But yeah, I just thought there was definitely a disconnect between the coach and the players, and that's not something you can fix. And so he does need to go. I'm sorry. I know some folks will try to say, well, it's the Lakers brass and their organization, which they should take some fall too. I mean, Jeannie Buss and your boy Rob Lowe should definitely take some flack for hiring him in the first place.
But we talked about this off the air, though.
Yeah.
The difference between our two organizations here is there's my team who was used to losing, right?
Yeah.
So 40 years in between championships, and then we have a decade of a great run. Doesn't know if it's going to come back again. But you're talking about a Lakers organization, as you said, it wins a championship almost every decade.
Yep.
There's a reason why there's 17 stars on the floor. Right. They're looking to always win right there at the moment here. Right. So if they feel like it's not going to go anywhere, they have no problem blowing that up. And if that means getting rid of players and getting rid of coaches, I mean, look, they fired Darvin Ham, and then 5 minutes later they go, oh, everyone under Darvin Ham also was fired too. It's like, why don't y'all just announce that at the same time? Darvin Ham and the entire Laker coaching staff is fired.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's an organization that can't afford to lose anything. They cannot afford to lose anything. They're trying to keep that reputation as being the top of the NBA when it comes to championships. So they're going to do everything they can to stay on top of that there.
Yeah, and so now the question is, okay, you got rid of Darvin Ham. What are your options going forward at this point? So, and I got to be honest with you, I don't know if anybody's going to shake free that's going to be interesting. Obviously, you got some of the old coaches, Terry Stotts, Budenholzer, which you can't hire Budenholzer. I mean, you just got done hiring his assistant coach with Milwaukee for whatever reason. And
Yeah.
there's been talks, and I want to hear your opinion on this one. There's been talks of J.J. Redick being of interest as a first-time head coach. You know, B, what do you think about that? And I'll give you my opinion, man.
I don't think it's a good move at all. What are we basing it off of?
Yeah, I don't know. A
Um,
podcast?
to a podcast. He's got a great podcast. He does a great job on the ABC games. I enjoy hearing him talk because he's one of those real player perspective kind of things here, and I love what he's got to say.
Yeah.
Realistically, is it a coaching thing? Jason Kidd didn't retire and then decide, oh, I'm going to go coach. Like Jason Kidd took some time
Yeah.
and became a coach there. Ex players becoming coaches rarely work. I don't think it's going to work in this place here. The fact that it is a strong consideration for JJ Redick to coach the Los Angeles Lakers, I don't think is a good move for the Lakers. You that window time of winning a championship is even shorter now because LeBron is probably 2 years away from retiring, maybe even one.
Yeah.
Do you really want to run a risk of a guy like JJ Redick, to
as a first time head coach? Yeah.
Yeah. I think Kenny Atkinson from the Warriors actually may not be a bad choice. In all honesty, for the Lakers, I think that he'd be a good choice for them.
He's been a head coach before too. I mean, here's my take on the JJ thing. One, I don't like the idea of a first time head coach because I feel like we just did that. The other thing, the other thing which you mentioned is that whenever players are good head coaches, which there are some ex players who are good head coaches, generally it's because they're raised in a system. Like they start off as assistant coaches and they kind of work their way up. I mean, you look at Steve Kerr, who was on the Spurs staff, prior to getting to where he is now. So they don't just they don't just all of a sudden become head coaches and that's it. And I think that I don't like. Not only would he be a first year head coach, but he would also have zero experience coaching at all, meaning assistant coach or nothing. And that I don't like. I still think, man, their best possible chance, which may or may not happen anyway, is them trying to right the wrong with Tyronn Lue, who should have been their coach anyway because they had him under contract. But for some strange reason, the LA wanted to get finicky with the money and who was going to be on the coaching staff, which was a stupid move. And they end up going with Frank Vogel. So the only problem is I doubt that Steve Ballmer is going to let the Lakers even sniff around the facility to get near Tyronn Lue, seeing as how Tyronn Lue is an ex-Laker. So, but that could all change if Paul George leaves and all of a sudden the Clippers team looks a little bit different. But dude, outside of that, we'll see. I don't have a lot of trust in Rob Pelinka. I hope that they can pick a coach that at least makes sense. The Darvin Ham fire was kind of like, or hire, excuse me, not fire, was kind of like, okay, maybe. But honestly, look at now, hindsight's 2020, man. I don't think it's.
Well, here's the other list of candidates. We talked about Ty Lue. We talked about Budenholzer. Jawan Howard from the University of Michigan.
I don't know.
Come on, man. That's the fact that his name is even on that list should just be atrocious. Phil Handy, David Adelman. I think David Adelman wouldn't be too bad as a Lakers head coach. We talked about JJ Redick, Terry. There's Terry Stotts. There's Kenny Atkinson, and then the last on the list is bringing back Frank Vogel. Well, you wouldn't have to worry about that if you if you didn't let him go in the first place.
Frank, I don't know if Frank's going to get fired though. Is he?
I don't think so.
I think he's going to stay with the Suns. I don't know if they're going to actually fire him.
Well, the Suns GM is I don't know what he thinks, man. He just his bank account don't end. He's just like, oh, you want me to write a check for this player? By all means. For God's sakes, he got rid of almost his entire first round draft picks for the rest of the decade to bring over Kevin Durant.
Bradley Beal, who knows what? I mean, I don't know. They got to have something's got to come of it. Otherwise, it's going to be the biggest bust we've had. Well, actually, since the Nets, the last team that Kevin Durant was part of. So no, it wasn't that long. It wasn't that long ago. Long ago,
So with that being said, T, you guys are now in the off season like us. Obviously, a bunch of turmoil during this off season. What are the biggest moves the Lakers need to make in this off season to make sure that they are contenders outside of the coach? player wise, what are they needing to do?
They need to get a solid point guard, somebody who can defend and shoot. They need to, and that's what we thought Gabe Vincent would be when he was injured. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to some of those guys having better seasons. So, Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, although they didn't show much this season, when healthy, they can make a huge impact, especially defensively. Some of their guys that we kind of added on that didn't really help us, Christian Wood, Spencer Dinwiddie, Cam Reddish. These guys, they can go. I think the biggest change is going to be them trying to make an upgrade at the guard position. I know the Lakers. Yeah. I know what they're going to do. They're going to go fishing for trades. But they really don't have much to work with because the problem is D'Angelo Russell is probably going to opt out of his contract and see if he can make more money elsewhere, which means that the Lakers will not be able to use him as a trade chip to get anything. And so it would have to be something around Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura, who would, have both been pretty good players, but it's all about that the youth versus old thing. Unfortunately, the Lakers are, my nose is killing me. Unfortunately, the Lakers are in a position where they're on LeBron's timeline, so they might have to sacrifice some of their good young talent to bring in another star player. But we'll see if that even happens, man. I mean, I don't even know.
But is it worth sacrificing the young talent for potentially 1 or 2 years? Is it worth it now? Is it I don't think so, but
it was worth it to win a championship. We did it with AD. But at the same time, you have to find hopefully some smaller moves. I don't know if bringing in a big name star is going to change anything. The 3-star thing probably it might not work. And from what we've seen thus far in these past few years, it hasn't worked. So I think they just need to make the upgrade. Need to upgrade D'Lo's position, keep the guys that they have, play some of the talent that we didn't see a lot of last season, and like Max Christie, who I think deserves and should play a lot more minutes. And for goodness sake, listen to Anthony Davis. Go get a big, play him at the 5, and play AD at the 4. I mean, and roll with it because I feel like they just don't listen and they don't want to do it. They want AD to play the 5. Okay, that's great, but it doesn't help when you're playing against the Denver Nuggets and you're playing against Jokic or Embiid. Like, Anthony Davis is a great defensive player, but he cannot guard guys that are that big in the post. So
how about going out and getting Embiid?
They don't have any trade chips to give him.
I know.
We don't have anything to get. What do we trade? LeBron? Like we don't have anything.
Philly would want so much for that. They would really want, and I don't even think the young core is what Philly really wants. No. From that there.
Yeah. Philly wants to bring in another player to put with Embiid. They're not looking to trade Embiid, so they're looking to make a trade to get more talent. Even though they did that like twice. I mean, they brought in Jimmy Butler, and that didn't work. They brought in James Harden, that didn't work. And
that didn't work.
They're beginning to look a lot like the Clippers at this point. So
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there is something wrong with that. You don't want to be the Clippers. Clippers is
they're not our problem though.
Cursed franchise. They're garbage.
That's true too.
Hot trash. That's why they have 3 stars in their team for the past 5 years, and they've been knocked out of the first round. 4 of those. Was it 4 of those 3 years? 3 of the 4, or whatever it is. They suck.
Yeah, something like that.
They suck. They're absolute trash. The Clippers are garbage. I'm glad that the Mavs beat them up the way that they did. Kyrie Irving out there looking like a madman, diving for balls and stuff. I mean, the dude was playing amazing. Luka Doncic.
Yeah, that was. I wouldn't say that was vintage Kyrie, but that was that was like 3rd, 4th year Kyrie Irving out there, man. He was hungry.
All I'm saying is they look like a team that's hungry. They look like a team that wants to win, versus the Clippers, who looks like a team that needs more time in Cancun to get their knees right. Kawhi Leonard was the hottest player on the planet about 5-6 years ago after going to the Raptors and winning a championship. Do you remember the conversations around this guy, the accolades that they were throwing at him, how great he was? The Clippers will win multiple championships. He's going to be an all-time great. Yeah, he's going to be an all-time great at not playing regular season games. And then when they forced him to play regular season games, he missed playoff games. And then you put him next to Paul George, who is also not known for being healthy year round. And then you add James Harden, who is known to curse your team and make them lose. Every team he's gone to, why do people keep doing this? James Harden goes to the Nets and they bomb. He wants out of the Nets, goes to Philly, and they bomb. Now he goes to the Clippers. Oh, I wonder what they did in the playoffs. They bombed. Why do y'all keep picking this dude up? You know what I mean?
This guy's like The Ring, man. You ever see the movie The Ring? It's like you're cursed for 7 days, and then you die. You know, he's like the cancer of the team. They're bad choice of words, but you know, I don't think the Lakers are gonna blow this up. I really don't think so. They're opening up a brand new arena this coming year.
You're talking about the Clippers.
They need to make sure that
not the Lakers.
Yeah. I'm talking about the Clippers. I'm sorry, the Clippers.
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna blow this up.
Okay.
Well, you guys exited the playoffs around the same time, so I mean, it didn't really matter whether it was.
hey, franchise-wise,
you guys. Okay, franchise-wise, we're talking now, though. You guys, the Clippers actually won one more playoff game than you guys did, so I guess they have a leg up on them. But the fact of the matter is they can't afford to have a mediocre team when they open up this new stadium here. So I just think that the Clippers are going to end up keeping everybody for one more year and then let it explode after that here. You can't walk into a new stadium and only have a washed up Paul George, a cursed James Harden. You're going to need those four guys to try to at least make sure that people are coming into the arena here. So I just think the Clippers you may not get Ty Lue going to the Lakers. Just for the fact of the matter is that the Clippers got a GM that he also has no bank account. That thing is just flowing, left and right here. So I think he'll do whatever he needs to do to make that team happy here. I just don't think he has the personnel to make the right moves to bring the people in to help that team succeed here. So that's just the only difference.
I'm trying to tell you, it's a cursed franchise. They're the Clippers. I don't know how else to tell people. Like, they're the Clippers. They're the Clippers. It doesn't matter who you put on their team. They're the Clippers. They're not gonna win anything. Think about it, people.
I wonder.
Think about it. They had Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, James Harden. Before that, they had DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, Tobias Harris. They've had talent out the wazoo. This team, I don't care who you put on that team. The Clippers will always be a dumpster fire of a franchise that we use as a stepping stool to get into our locker room. They're nothing. They will always be nothing. So look, I don't care what nobody's saying. Stephen A. Smith with his hairline going back to the back of to the back of his head, trying to proclaim back in the day. And yeah, I got receipts. Kawhi Leonard, best player in the league. They're gonna win multiple championships. Yada 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 yada. You know what you forgot? They called the Clippers. That's what you forgot. Do yourself a favor, Bomber. Change the name. Find a new city. Then you'll win the championship.
My bad. I didn't mean to bring that up. My bad. That was great. You feel a little better, my man. You feel a little better after that?
I'm fine. I'm good. I'm just saying, it's true.
Let's talk about Game 7 real quick. Game 7 took place today. I love a good Game 7. Like I mentioned earlier here, the Cavs were down 18 at one point, roared all the way back by the half here, and then never looked back ever again here. Donovan Mitchell over the last 2 games scored 83 points, a lot of them in crucial minutes here. Look, we both picked the Celtics to just wipe the floor with the Cavs, or it didn't matter who they were going to play. Is it going to take more of an effort from Donovan Mitchell than these last 2 games to try to win 4 against Boston? I honestly think when you look at the matchups, they don't. The only thing that's going to save the Cavs is the fact that they have the size. Now, Jared Allen did not play today, but Evan Mobley, he's going to be a big piece for them here because he can dominate inside. Without Kristaps Porzingis here, he gives them a a slight chance
in the
here,
middle. Yeah,
but he can't. But you can't have Donovan Mitchell going against Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. He's gonna lose those every single time.
dude, I'm sorry, it's not gonna go well. And the reason I say that is just it's just what you said, B. The matchups. Max Strauss, who's he guarding? Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, who's
Donovan,
not bad.
no, but Garland is gonna have to pick up Tatum. You
Yeah, but
can't
he's
have. I don't think. I
undersized.
don't think.
Tatum's like 6'9".
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You know, like maybe they put Levert on him, Chris Levert, but
I don't.
he's
Yeah.
too skinny. He's too small. So look, I don't know, but at the end of the day, the Magic valiant effort for a young team
Oh, that was
getting in the
great.
playoffs. They put it on them, and at one point they were up by 10 points. They were making it happen.
They were up 18.
18,
They were up
excuse me.
18 on the Cavs.
And so them being young, they didn't have the experience. The Cavs got over. Donovan had to put up 39 points to win this game. The next highest scorer was Chris Levert with 15 points. I'm sorry, I don't think you can take that to Boston against Tatum, against Jaylen Brown, and then don't even get my boy Porzingis goes down, and all of a sudden Derek White comes in and is killing him. That boy put up 30-some points. So there are a lot of guys to contend with on the Boston roster, and I'm not even mentioning the fact that they play defense. You know, so now you're being guarded by Drew Holiday. If you're Donovan Mitchell, you got Al Horford, who literally only does three things, but does them very well. Box out, rebound, shoot threes. That's it.
He shoots a corner three. That's
Corner
all.
three.
If you're looking for Al Horford on the offensive end, he's in the corner.
He's in the corner.
Not gonna find him down in the paint. He's gonna be in the corner here for that kick out. That's all I'm saying. So don't worry about him. Just make sure you got somebody defending the corner wherever Al Horford is. But man, this is gonna be a tall task for Donovan Mitchell here. Because it's all going to be on his shoulders here. I can see Boston isolating Donovan Mitchell, taking him out of the picture and saying, "You guys better find somebody else to beat us."
Exactly.
I don't think Darius Garland is going to be the answer offensively here, because when you look at that roster offensively, is Donovan Mitchell, and like you said, nobody else. The next best scorer only had 15 points.
Right.
So if I'm watching this game as a Celtics player, I'm like, well, we know the assignment. Stop Donovan Mitchell.
Right. Unless somebody else beat us.
Let somebody else beat us. Yep.
Absolutely. I completely agree, man. And, I got to give Donovan a pat on the back, man. A lot of folks are talking about the fact of him possibly being traded. But, I mean, he put that whole thing on his back, and he got it done. So, kudos to him. Kudos to, Paolo Banchero. I got to say the guy's name right.
Oh, what a great game he played.
That was a
fantastic.
Monster. Yeah, he's a monster.
Yes, he is. He is.
So I'm looking forward to watching him play a little bit more next year. I didn't get a chance to watch very many Magic games, I got to be honest. But now that I've got a chance to see Paolo play, definitely want to get an eye on him and see see how he develops as time goes on, because we're looking at he's only a second or third year player.
Second year player.
So he's just going to get better and better and better and better. So kudos to them.
That's what we love about the playoffs, man, is we get to see some of this young talent at its highest potential here. And Paulo was at that peak here. He's a monster to try to handle here, because he could beat you inside. He's got a great 3-point shot as well here. So he's going to be a problem. And honestly, the whole Magic team, I think if they put the right pieces together, bring in a couple of veterans here, because they really didn't have a whole lot of them here, help kind of build this core up here, I think it'd be a real exciting team in the East. I mean, they finished in 5th.
Yeah.
That's how good they were. And I'm not saying the East was great, but the fact that they finished 5th with that young of a team was actually pretty exciting here.
Impressive. Absolutely.
You got Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner's brother. So they got some really good pieces here. They are very defensive minded as well. So, but you can see the fall off. You can see that once the shots weren't going, the Magic just slowly started to crumble as that game went on there.
Yep.
And that's when Donovan Mitchell really took over that game. So that's just a growing point. We knew it was going to happen to some of these teams here. It happened to the Magic right now. It could happen to other teams here, but kudos to them on a great season, man. I'm not going to dog them, because I actually like what they've got going on in the future.
All right. And let's get caught up on the chat. We got We got David dropping in. Thanks for joining us, man. With the Clippers are the Clippers, they will never change. That is absolutely what I am saying. They will always be the same. Then we got Effects. What's up? Happy Sunday, y'all. Back to work for me. Oh man, I'm sorry, man. Come back to work on Sunday.
Hey man, feel bad for you, Effects, but hey, that's the guy who does our intro song for us. So,
We appreciate
Effects,
it.
man, don't work too hard, man. I look forward to fishing with you. May 20th, we are hitting the water on May 20th here. But I think you're gonna like this next conversation that we're about to have.
Oh yeah, let's get into it.
Michael Jordan Jr.
Okay, calm calm down. They said the same thing about Jimmy Butler. that didn't pan out too well.
I think there's something. Do you want to compare the two?
No,
I would love to compare
Jimmy Butler and Anthony Edwards.
100%.
They're not. I mean, that's not a bad comparison. I got to be honest. I think, well, yeah, they're about the same size, but Ant is a dog, man, and that's maybe where the difference between what we've seen from some of these other young players and this gentleman. He was relentless in attacking the Denver Chicken Nuggets, who dropped game one because they tried to play the Timberwolves the same way that they played the Lakers, and it didn't pan out.
No.
The Nuggets defense was not up to par and ready to play, and Jamal Murray didn't look. He looked like a guy who was injured. You know what I mean? Like, both on the defensive and the offensive end, and they were really struggling trying to find someone to guard Ant Edwards, and he destroyed him. He absolutely destroyed him. So, man, look, I was glad to see them fools lose because obviously they beat my Lakers. Well, they beat my Lakers quite a few. I'm not going to hold back, but quite a few times.
I was about to say,
but
don't hide that one.
But what was good to see was that the Timberwolves did not let Jamal Murray and Jokic off the hook by letting them just stand around on defense. They were making sure to involve them in the defense. Jokic had to pick one. Jokic had to either guard Big Cat or he had to deal with Rudy Gobert, or he had to deal with Naz Reid. And by having those guys that are that big that can actually play offense, it really put Jokic in a place to where he's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And it was so prevalent on the last play of, well, not the last play of the game, but pretty much the point that sealed the game, where Ant Edwards catches the ball out of bounds. You know, they get the inbound on the opposite end. Ant Edwards catches the ball, turns, and drives all the way to the rim for a layup.
Yeah.
Never stop the ball. Because
never.
Jokic can't stop him. Jamal Murray ain't got a bum leg or something. Ain't nobody.
Yeah, he ain't stopping him.
KCP, they put KCP on him. And I think just the mix of Conley and Ant Edwards present a really big problem for the Denver Nuggets, because they really don't have anybody at those guard spots that can really defend. They have KCP, who I think is a great defender, but he's a little undersized to play against Ant Edwards, and it showed. He pretty much put everybody in the blender that they put on him. We talked about it before the show. They tried to put Aaron Gordon on him, and he shook that fool out his drawers, pulled up, splashed. And then the Nuggets was like, well, never mind then. We'll just go back to KCP.
This ain't going to work.
Right.
Yo,
I got to give him credit,
Edwards. Man. Anthony Edwards over the last 3 games, 36, 40, and 43. Dude, this guy, I'm starting to become an Anthony Edwards fan. It's just fun to watch a guy who doesn't care. You know, he's got a killer mentality. If there's any player that right now is showing that killer mentality, it's Ant Edwards. He's talking trash on the court. It doesn't matter who it is. You know, he's giving the D-Generation X signal, you know, to teams when they're blowing them out. You know, he doesn't care. He's coming at your throat for 48 minutes until they have that victory here. And he doesn't let his foot off the gas. Right. He's not afraid to go to the hoop. You know, you got to respect his mid-range game is amazing. It's gotten so much better since he's entered the league. He's got his 3-point shot. You're not asking him to shoot threes. You're asking him to get to the hoop, and he is doing it very, very ferocious. Where right now, when you look at Denver, There's no stopping him. And the problem is Denver can't isolate and try to stop Anthony Edwards because Minnesota presents a tough challenge with a guy like Karl Anthony Towns who can bring Jokic all the way out to the 3-point line and
Yeah.
make life for him very, very uncomfortable here. Guys like Aaron Gordon as well. These are challenges that are very hard to defend. So, we thought Minnesota wasn't going to be that team all year. They're starting to show that they may be the team
Yeah.
that can maybe even compete with a team like the Celtics. They match up very well against the Celtics if it was an NBA Finals. Anthony Edwards versus Jason Tatum,
Yeah.
that'd be must see TV right there.
And they've got guys that can compete. Nas Reed, Nico Alexander Walker, and
Jeff McDaniels,
Jaden McDaniels. They can all come in and contribute, even if it's only playing defense. Those are guys that can come in and give you minutes in a playoff game. Whereas when you look at the Nuggets, all the Nuggets got is Reggie Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like they literally don't play anybody else. Like I can't even name a player off their bench. I mean, other than Reggie Jackson. So the white kid, what's his name? Braun. He's the other Brown.
Yeah,
whatever
Braun.
it's called. So, but that's it.
Yeah, but he's non-existent though. To be honest,
yeah,
Braun is a non-existent factor when it comes to the bench for them.
Yeah, and so I don't think I think that the Nuggets are going to lean very heavily on their stars to produce, and if they're also asking those stars to defend, it's going to be a long series for them because I don't see Jokic. They can't hide Jokic in this situation with these two bigs on the floor at the same time. Like when you have Karl Anthony Towns and Gobert on the floor, you can't hide him. He's gonna have to fight for every rebound. He's gonna have to jump out and cover on pick and pops on Cat if he gets stuck there, and he's gonna have Ant Edward coming at him full steam going towards the rim. The man's gonna be tired. You know what I mean? And I don't think he's built like that. I mean, as great a player as he is, and like me and B have been saying this a multitude of times, he is not a good defensive player. He is not
even a shot blocker.
No. He can't do it. He can't do it.
Nope.
He's a great offensive player. I'll give him that. Great for their team. But on defense, he's damn near a liability. And most teams were not able to expose that, but this team has the correct pieces with Gobert being so big to expose that. And I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to put him in every pick and roll situation. Him and Jamal Murray, who both cannot defend, they're going to put both of them in every pick and roll situation or isolation situation for Murray that they can get. And they're just going to run him off the court.
I'm going to tell you this right now, and you could take me to you can argue with me on this. I don't care. Anthony Edwards is showing a flash of a young Michael Jordan when he was in the playoffs here. Anthony Edwards hates losing. Remember last year when he got eliminated from the Nuggets, he threw a chair. I wouldn't say, no, that's terrible. He didn't throw it. He just kind of knocked it out of the way. It ended up hitting someone. It wasn't no full chair throw. But the way, like I said, when you watch a tape of a young Michael Jordan with a bad Bulls team in the playoffs and watch Anthony Edwards with a decent team, it's almost identical. It's him first and then everyone else after, and everyone is buying into that on the Timberwolves here. They are okay with that because he is showing that he can handle this pressure here. So I'm not saying Anthony Edwards is Michael Jordan, but if he continues this trend, I wouldn't be shocked here. I wouldn't be shocked at this point.
I think he's ascending, and he's going to be a great player in this league, and we'll see how far he goes. I mean, this is where in the playoffs you really start to see players arrive, when they really start to show. And it's where you see guys like James Harden fall apart and be nobodies. So you really get to see the separation between, I'm just being honest. Look, the great ones don't just have the talent and ability. They have something extra.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they have something extra. And so I think what he's showing is I got that extra. I'm not afraid to take on Bradley Beal, catch this three in your face. Kevin Durant, get dunked on, don't need you. Oof. Like he's not afraid. Oof. He's not afraid of being on the court with anyone, and he's showing it again against the Nuggets, where the Nuggets don't really have players like that to put on them. They don't have no. Michael Porter Jr. couldn't guard a picket fence. He can't guard nobody. KCP is undersized, and then you've got Jamal Murray, who's got a bum leg but doesn't defend anyway. So now you're stuck in this situation where damn. Okay, Jokic, he's coming to you, and Jokic is like, what the hell? I'm not. What?
What am I doing with this thing? What?
No, no,
What do you
no.
guys want me to do?
I only play offense, my friend. Like, like it's like,
Damn,
so
he keeps this up. He's gonna be able to hang out with his horses more often after this.
yeah,
Because
he
if
might,
the Wolves
man.
play like this,
They
man, it
stole
is
one.
gonna. Oh, that's it. That's the last thing that Denver needed here was
Yeah.
for that team to get one. And now they can go out tomorrow night and play absolutely wild and get real greedy and take two on the road and then steal
It's
home
over.
court.
Yeah, anytime you get two on the road, the series is over.
Yeah. So if the Wolves do that, this may not go seven. It may not here, but
I expect
you
Denver
know,
to bounce back in the next game and Jokic to kind of show up a little bit more. It is tougher having Gobert and Cat guard you because they're bigger guys. Anthony
yeah.
Davis is big, but he's not big. Cat is like 260, 280 big. He's a big guy. And
He
then
fat.
go. That's why they call him Kit. We should change his name to Kit Kat. Kit Kat.
More like Fat Cat. Call him Fat Cat. Call him Garfield. Call him Garfield for all we know. Fat Cat.
That's messed up. Is that why he's been reduced to just shooting threes now? He don't even bother trying to get in the paint or nothing anymore, barely.
Probably, man. He probably get tired after the court. He's like, man, I need another meal. I got to live up to that Fat Cat name.
2 steps.
Yep.
That's it.
2 steps and winded. 2 steps and winded. Looking like Devon Looney out there getting tired.
Oh my goodness, man. Well, speaking of Jokic, we were talking about him earlier. The conversation or the decision on who will be the MVP for the NBA is upon us. We got Jokic, we got Luka Doncic, and then we've got SGA.
Yep.
Who you got, B?
I'm gonna take SGA on this one here.
I'm with you, bro.
Here's the reason why we talked about it. He has no number two. When you look at Luka, he's got Kyrie.
Yeah.
When you look at Joker, he's got Jamal Murray. When you say SGA,
it's just crickets. Just
it's SGA, and the fact of what he's done here to make them the number one, to take the number one seed in a very, very competitive Western Conference here. You remove Shea Gilgeous-Alexander off of the Thunder, they are nobody.
Garbage, yeah.
They're absolutely nobody here. And when you look at the MVP, the most valuable player to that team, when you look at those other two teams here, if you remove Joker, you still stand a chance with Jamal Murray. You remove Luka, you've got Kyrie Irving. You remove SGA, you get absolutely nothing here. So I think everyone is gonna favor Jokic, but it's got to be SGA winning this MVP.
I'm gonna go with SGA too, man, for a couple of reasons. One is they were the number one seed in the West. They were the best team in the Western Conference, which of the two conferences was the more difficult conference. So that's number one. And them being number one and him being the best player, I think, helps solidify the fact that he should be the MVP. He's the best player on the best team. And generally, that's who that award goes to. The other one is, and this one is being petty, it's because the Clippers traded him, right? Of course it is. It's because the Clippers traded him. It's because he left that accursed franchise to be a winner in Oklahoma City of all places. Go figure, right? So OKC takes those draft picks and they make money. They actually make them into great players. They trade from the Clippers for SGA and he becomes a superstar. Good for him. Because he's the future, man. Just like we talked about Ant Edwards. Like, these are the next guys up. The Kawhi Leonards, the Paul Georges, the LeBron James, and the Steph Currys. Yeah, they're still there. But the time is starting to change over. And you're starting to see these new guys ascend. And I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. I wish I had some talent like that on the Lakers, but we're really old right now. Our stars are old and we need young stars, but that doesn't mean that guys like SGA and Ant Edwards, these guys, I would love to see them go head to head in the Western Conference Finals. And that
would be a good one. I would love it.
And I'm a basketball fan for real because about 5 years ago, if somebody told you that the Minnesota was playing Oklahoma City in Western Conference, you'd be like, I ain't watching that. But that's what this young talent does. It creates
Yeah.
that feed. Like, I gotta see him. Oh, I heard he's good. Oh, people have been talking about him. I want to see what he's all about. So yeah, I'm loving it, man. I think SGA should win. Give it to him just so he could flash it. I hope he's in LA, passes by Clipper fans, shows off the trophy. Like, yep, look what I won. Too bad your franchise is hot garbage dog water. Good luck with your broken Kawhi Leonard, plastic man over here. What was that movie with the mastermind dude? But he kept falling. He couldn't even stand up without breaking his legs.
What
Remember?
was it?
What was it called?
I kind of I do. It's
Oh,
on.
Glass, Mr. Glass.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Kawhi Leonard.
That's kind of the great thing about basketball is we as basketball fans we could turn on a random game and for one reason is we're here to watch an individual play.
Yeah,
You know, I'll turn on. I can't wait to turn on the Timberwolves game to watch Ant Edwards. I'm looking forward to watching the Thunder here just so I can see what SGA is going to do. And that not just for those two, but for the entire league. Almost the league has one superstar where if your team's not playing, you're going to go watch another team's game just to see what he's going to do.
yeah,
That's what makes basketball just a great watch night in and night out, because if your team's not playing, you've got a second favorite player that you want to check out
yeah.
just to see what they're going to do. I wonder when Ant Edwards is going to jump from half court to dunk on someone. You know what I'm saying? The guy jumps out of a gym.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tune in to see if I can see something like that there. But if we can get those two matched up and they can stay in the Western Conference for a long, long time, that is going to be a great rivalry and I think a great friendship for the NBA to basically say the torch from, like you said, from all these older players is about to get handed down to what you're seeing in the playoffs right now. It's going to be great to watch.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. What we got? Oh, now we got. So you mentioned this story to me about Pat Beverly throwing a ball at fans. First off, can I say something?
Yeah, say it.
Pat Bev keeps getting contracts for doing what exactly?
I don't know. Being a menace.
I guess because it was like at one point the idea was he was a good defender. I remember he was back with the Clippers and various the Rockets, I think at one point, and various other teams. But the guy keep getting contract after contract, and I don't know if he's really a contributor at this stage anymore. I mean, at this point,
he's not.
It's almost like he's known for his reputation, but a reputation of what? I mean, just talking because he's not guarding anybody. What's the point?
I don't know, man. But to give everyone a backstory, he threw the ball and it hit a chick right in her dome,
Rough,
and it
man.
bounced into the hands of a fan. So he called for it back. I don't know what. First, I don't know why the fan threw it back. I'd have kept that basketball.
Yeah,
the game was over. I'd have just walked out of the arena with it. And then he proceeds to fire it right back at the fan. So it's gonna look bad on him twice. I'm. What are you thinking, man? Like, did the fan say something? Here's where things also get crazy. He told a reporter she can't interview him because she's not subscribed to his podcast. Like, can you imagine if we're telling you people, if we're telling our watchers, if you don't watch our show, we're gonna unsubscribe to you, or you can't join the chat. Like, dude, the man needs to be checked for CTE. Him and Antonio Brown cannot be in the same building together because some wild ass stuff would be said.
Did you see the interview after the game? Looked like he was like on crack or something, or about to crack. Like, I don't know what's going on with my boy. But I hope whatever help he needs, he gets it, because again, there's no need for this type of behavior. The Milwaukee was gonna lose. They, we all knew they was gonna lose because Giannis wasn't even there. Giannis wasn't playing.
He said, "I'm not showing up."
Giannis was like, good luck, guys. I hope you win. You know what I'm saying? So the Milwaukee didn't have a chance, man. With injuries that they had, it just wasn't gonna work out. So I don't know why he's so upset. I guess he was hoping by joining the Bucks he would have gotten a deep run in the playoffs. But let's keep it 100. At this stage in your career, all you can be is just a pest. And that's not enough to win a championship. That's not enough at all. You're not going to be added to a great team and give them some lift. And there are a lot of teams that need energy players. But at the end of the day, man, I just think if all you can do is defend, but you can't do that, it's time to put it. It's time to put a place. Just like Nicholas Batum, great player, right? But how long has Nicholas Batum been in the league, man?
Yo, he needs to get out of the league.
Dude,
Jeez Louise, man.
that
Like
I mean,
why do people keep bringing him on teams?
I
What do
mean,
you think you're gonna get a Nicholas Batum from the early 2010s? You're not.
it's over,
That was
right?
hella long ago.
Right, right. And it's just like I think we're just getting to the end of the rope with this. And if he keeps doing stuff like this, he might find himself on the outside looking in as far as
Yeah.
playing basketball in general.
I wonder what Adam Silver's gonna do.
Oh, he's gonna
You know,
spin his
not
butt for
well,
sure.
yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got one more. I think we got
Yeah, we got
one more to cover.
this one. So this was funny. This fool LaMelo Ball didn't play no games last season. Maybe he played a few games. He didn't play very many. I can tell you that right now. So
Yeah.
apparently, while on his sabbatical, his injury sabbatical, he was working on getting some ink on his back that says "Rare One." This is a huge tattoo. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got UFOs on it.
Yeah,
It's got
you're
an alien
alien
bottom.
face and all this
I,
shit. It's in
dude,
color and
I'm sorry. You have done nothing in this league to sit there and say you're a rare one. You a rare dumb one, to say the least. Here, your family. I'll say it, your family has made basketball sometimes unwatchable. Between your dad, your brother, who was overseas and decided to steal sunglasses for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? You're the oldest, can't stay healthy anymore. You know, his jump shot was worse than a 2-year-old's jump shot. You know, dude, you're not a rare one, man. You know, when you're a rare one is when you have a significant impact on an organization and you're going to the playoffs and you're winning championships. You don't do that. You are nothing but a YouTube sensation. That's all you are here. I'm not sitting here and I'm saying I'm somebody, but you don't see me getting a tattoo that says number one of everything here or whatever the case may be. Like, knock it off, man. Like, you living with this for the rest of your life. Just let that be known. You won't sit there and say, "Oh, I was a rare one." For what? For what?
man, look, look here. We talked about this before the show. The only thing rare is the fact that you rarely are playing games.
Exactly.
You've been injured a multitude of the past few seasons you've been in the NBA. So I think the best thing to do is to start playing basketball. I think that's what you should do because then people will actually understand who you are. Because don't get it twisted, my friend. You may have had a lot of, LaMelo Ball, he had a lot of hype and stuff coming into the league that first year. But who are we just talking about a second ago? SGA and Edwards. You're falling behind, my friend. Paolo Blanchero. All these dudes is ahead of you. So if you want to be a rare one, catch up to them. Because
the best part, he was in that same draft class with Ant Edwards.
There you go.
He was in that same draft class. Thank God the Warriors didn't draft him.
So I guess if you're a rare one, he must just be the one. Because I'm not because you're not. Less talk, less showboat, showmanship. It's not boxing. We don't need it. You can show what you are on the basketball court. So go ahead, get out there and play some games because you only played like 10 games this season.
And guess what?
We forgot about you.
You're on a team that no one's tuning into after, or, when their team's not playing. I know I said every NBA team. The Hornets are one exception. I'm not turning on if the Warriors aren't playing. No, I'll watch paint dry instead of watching the Hornets playing basketball here, to say the least. But the worst part is if I'm Victor Wembanyama, because he's about to drop his first shoe, that's kind of alien based here. I'd be mad because that's a rare one. A guy with that talent is a rare one. Not you, sir. There's plenty of point guards that could do your job better than what you're doing. You ain't a rare one. Victor is a rare one to say.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I just think it's a lot of, and I understand people want to pump themselves up and they feel a certain way about themselves because they have money. But money doesn't mean you're a respectable person. Okay, doesn't mean anything. There's most rich people are kind of weird, bro. I don't know if you heard the news, but rich people doing some weird stuff out there. So it does not make you special. You know what I mean? And
they put yachts on fake water. That's pretty weird.
got collapsed inside of a little containment, a soda can, 50,000 miles beneath the, going to go see that.
The
And
Titanic.
the Titanic. What the?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't. Look, me and B, we not rich, but we not stupid
By
either.
any means.
And
Oh no, I got my.
sounds like when you get rich, you trade some of your brain cells for the money. That's what it's starting to sound like. It sounds like you take some of your brain and you go, you know what? I'm gonna sacrifice my common sense as a human being for a few dollars. That I don't want to do. I just want just enough money to keep my brain intact. I'll just put it like that.
Man, I need a little more money to keep this brain intact here. But hey, did you see Anthony Davis's tattoo?
No.
Anthony Davis got a back piece saying it started with a dream. He tattooed the Larry O'Brien trophy on him, the cross street that he was raised on. Him playing basketball is like a 12-year-old. Like his back piece is interesting. Like what? I'm interested in that.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at that because it's his own path. This is my upbringing. I'm from here. I did win a championship. But this dude, it should just say rare one on it. You know, an alien and a UFO. Like, what is the symbolism of that? Like, I can understand put something on your body there. You look at it and you go, this is where I'm from. This is what I've done. Yeah. These are my children. This is my family. This is something that represents me. But all this random ass, like, what?
I can't make sense of it, man. It don't make no sense.
Whatever, man. Let the kids have fun, I guess. I'll leave them alone.
All right, I guess.
Oh, man. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think we have anybody else in the chat. But, folks, I think that's all we got, unless there's something you want to throw in there.
Oh, tonight, the roast of Tom Brady. I know how much you love that, man. Don't watch it with your kids around the building, though. Yeah. It's pretty foul mouthed. My sister and I were watching a little bit of it before we got onto the show tonight, and I got to pick up the rest of it. Kevin Hart's the host of it.
Oh, really? See, now what would make me happy and warm my heart is if Greg Biekert and Charles Woodson showed up and tackled the bejesus out of him coming down the hallway. Other than that,
I'm gonna tell you, they went hard on Robert Kraft. They go hard on the whole Tom Brady Giselle situation.
Oh man.
The Flakegate.
Yeah.
Spy cam. They go hard on that. Everyone just brings it up and rips it to a whole new degree. I suggest watching it. I think will get a thorough enjoyment out of it on Netflix. On Netflix. We're plugging Netflix. Netflix, you want to sponsor us? Go ahead. We plugged you.
Exactly. Hook us up. Oh,
exactly.
Man.
All right, my brother.
On that note, folks, we're going to call it a night and get to the rest of our Sunday evening. We hope you guys are doing the same. Happy Cinco de Mayo to everyone. Get some tacos if you haven't already. I had mine last
enchiladas.
night.
I'm getting my enchiladas right now.
I had mine last night. And, yeah, man, we'll be back next Friday with another Pick'em Dummies and see where we are at that point in the NBA playoffs. Should be interesting by the time we get to next Friday. So I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
All right, folks. Until next time.
Peace. Later.